What is going on, you guys? Theo here with the big review, back again with another King of Fighters Allstar video, and today we are actually going to go ahead and take a look at a subject that I have gotten more requests for, actually, as early as just a few minutes ago. Before I even started recording audio for this video, I got another request for this same subject, so we're going to get into how to farm cores. So for those of you who do not know and have not had to deal with this in the past, cores tend to be one of the most important things that you can farm in this game. In fact, I would say that besides capsules and maybe skip tickets, which skip tickets you're at a minimum on things you can do there, but with cores, those tend to be one of the most important things that you need to keep up with, but they also tend to be something that you use a ton of at a time. So especially whenever there is a collab like there is right now, you need a lot of cores to get your characters maxed out and to unlock their full potential. So today I kind of wanted to get into a couple of things that some of them are going to be obvious, but other things are going to maybe be something you had never even thought of and weren't doing before, at which point you need to stop and reassess your life choices. I'm just kidding. But you do need to go ahead and do some of these things if you want to get the most out of your core grind. So before we get into all that, thank you guys so much for the support. If you like this type of content and want to see more of it in the future, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. Helps me a ton as a new YouTuber, so appreciate all of the support. But let's get into this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be the core dungeon itself. So let's go ahead and go there, and I'm going to show you a couple of things. So first and foremost, before I get too far into this, you see this little fireball right here? See that? Right now we are dealing with an increased item gain rate for the core dungeon as well as some of the other dungeons. Now, whenever this comes up, farm it a lot. Now, a lot of people, depends on their walk of life, there's several different ways you can do this. Some people prefer to, say you have the ability to use some AP pots, which I'll show you real quick. Go up and use your AP pots and maybe kind of set it to auto, maybe 50, 100 times. I always try to set it to the max if I can, but go ahead and pop some of those and auto through this when you're away from your phone, or if you're on an emulator away from your computer, whatever you want to do, but you can always do that. The most bang for your buck that you are going to get from your AP pots is going to be during these types of events. They don't come around a ton. In fact, there was a bit of a drought for a while before this one came around. So I highly, highly recommend you take advantage of this. You can do this for the next 12 days. So make sure you're doing this. I know it's kind of bad timing because we have also the 7 Nights dungeon that a lot of people like to do that with, as far as using a bunch of their AP pots. AP right now, man, it is endangered species. But that all being said, another way you can kind of go about this on the other side of that coin is overnight farming. Now, I personally do this all the time. In fact, recently, again with the 7 Nights dungeon, I've been doing it with the 7 Nights dungeon to make sure that I can unlock as many of the 7 Nights core boxes as humanly possible. Or not core boxes, stone boxes. Got cores on the head, but when it comes to overnighting, basically, same idea. You'll use your AP pots, get yourself up to the point where you can use 99 autos and set it to 99 autos, put in a great team for autoing, and just let it go for the night. So when you wake up, you'll wake up to a ton of different cores. You probably will never have a problem after doing this for a couple of days, especially when there is a increased item gain rate event going on. So do that. If you have the ability to, do it. I like to set my phone, I don't know how much it differs depending on phone to phone, but I like to set my screen to idle where it'll dim itself out, and that way I'm not draining battery overnight. I just go ahead and plug the sucker in, or in my janky phone's case, I sit it on the wireless charger because my USB port don't work. But I digress. Do that, it'll help you out a lot. Now, that all being said, there are also going to be times where you'll have stages and events where you'll be able to get additional drops for cores. Usually it's going to be your rainbow cores. Rarely do I see other events drop regular hexagon cores, square cores, triangle cores, what have you. But definitely take advantage of those when they come around. It goes without saying, make sure that you use up your daily entries for the expert level of the core dungeon every single day, and make sure you hit that ad and do the ad as well. But speaking of ads, this is going to be the point where I'm let you guys in on a little secret that I've been doing for ever. So before I get into it, I want to show you something real quick. We're going to go ahead and go to this section here, and you're going to see here I have a ton of these core boxes. Okay, so whenever you go in here and I go to use these, you'll see that my core stash right now is a little bit low, just based on the fact that I've been leveling up all these 7 Knights characters recently. But I am by no means low on cores because I've got all these boxes. I get 5 at a time, and I have 600 plus of these suckers. So these boxes, all these different kinds of boxes, whenever you get these, stash them. And there's actually a way to farm these as well, and that is the point I'm going to get to. So in the exciting roulette, these boxes drop. So a lot of people ignore this part, and I think a lot of people also ignore the ads. Don't. Use your ads every single day. I believe you get 13 total tickets a day, which is 13 spins. Do this every single day. You want to make sure that you're doing this because you want to make sure that you're getting these boxes, okay? And these are the boxes here that are going to give me 5 selections at a time on the hexagon cores. It cannot be understated how important this can be because basically, say you do the overnight method of farming the core dungeon during an event where it's double drops and you do it for 2 or 3 nights. You do that, you're going to have a ton of different cores. If you build these up, eventually it'll get to the point you don't even have to worry about it. You're going to have these cores just laying around all over the place. And I would much prefer you to be using it this way and doing this than using all your skip tickets on the core dungeon, which I've been guilty of in the past myself of doing here and there, but try not to do that. Skip tickets you don't get a ton of. Typically you're going to want to use them during world drop events, what have you. So as much as it might be enticing to maybe for some people go for the skip tickets on this wheel, as much as it might be enticing to go for the AP, for some people, don't do that. Always, always, always go for these boxes. This is a way that you are going to be able to stockpile cores very easily. So all that being said, these are all the different ways that I've noticed that any high-level player like myself is going to be keeping their core stash up to date. Highly recommend that you take advantage of this exciting roulette every day. Make sure you're doing that. Again, pay attention. If you are seeing increased item drop rates on this dungeon, take advantage. I know it might be at times kind of enticing to go into the gold dungeon, and if you have plenty of cores, go for it by all means, but the cores in my opinion are not as easy to come by. So that is the points that I wanted to make on core farming. I hope that that helps you guys keep your core stash going and keep yourselves out of the issue of having to run into using skip tickets on these in order to unlock your cores on your characters. And again, make sure you keep in mind that roulette wheel is your best friend with this. Again, if you look at my stash of these boxes, it doesn't lie. I've got a ton of cores, and I even have 400 plus of these guys, and I can pick from any core in the game. So make sure you're doing this every day. Very important, and I hope that helps you guys. So let's move on to the next subject, which is going to be the fact that Dellons is a problem. Let's take a look. Okay guys, so I want to go ahead and show you something a little bit ridiculous, and it's going to require a little bit of audience participation. So if you want to test me on this, or proof me on this, make sure you pay attention to the bottom right hand side where my abilities are, and you'll notice that I am not pressing any buttons outside of, I believe, the first few seconds of this. But basically, yesterday I had noticed that in putting Dellons through the Immortal Victor dungeon, that he was putting up ridiculous damage. Just absolutely ridiculous damage. And on top of that, he was putting out so many finishers, to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't even think I need to push any buttons. So I didn't. About halfway through that run yesterday, I stopped pressing buttons and realized I don't need to press buttons anymore because of Dellons in Immortal Victor. I can just set it to auto, and he can take care of it on his own. Now, obviously, I don't want to take away from the Rock here, or Gonitz, but Dellons is ridiculous absolutely ridiculous. This entire run was on auto. I did not press any buttons outside of, like I said, the first couple seconds there to get it off the ground. I just sat it down and ignored it. And you'll be able to see here, I can run through this without an issue. It is insane to me that Dellons is this capable of a character in PvE. I would have never really even thought to use him in this dungeon. I did try him when I was prepping for the big review on him last week, and he was able to get through it. Before then, though, he was not Awaken level 50. He was in the 40s somewhere, I forget where exactly, but I probably have that recording somewhere on my phone at some point, but that's okay. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this because this is further proof that Dellons is absolutely insane. And I know some people have been talking about the fact that they feel like the Seven Knights characters are too overpowered, and I was going to initially make a video today going over not only just what stones were best for the Seven Knights, but also to kind of address those concerns from people, because you can't really talk about the fact that the Seven Knights characters are overpowered without talking about the stones and the effect that those have, not just on them, but on the overall game itself. Not just the meta in PvP, but just look at this stuff. Like, this you could not do with other characters. I have never been able to just auto fully through Immortal Victor without having to sit and babysit my phone. I've just not been able to do it. But that is the power of Dellons. I just wanted to show this to you guys so that it impressed upon you that much further, or even made you a little bit salty. If I did, trigger warning, I'm sorry.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
And I know some people are sitting there thinking, oh, well, you know, your characters are all Awaken level 4 or 5, you know, maxed out, blah, blah, blah. That is true, but before Dellons, I wasn't even able to do this. And before, I was using my Festoki, Jintoki, and he was Awaken level 4, level 45, and I was not able to pull that off. I was never able to game in close. So you'll be able to see here, he gets through this without much of any issue, and to me it is insane that he can do that. Now, I'm not going to take up all of you guys' time. I'm going to let you watch this and end this video off. But before I sign off, I want to say I appreciate all of you and thank all of you for the support that you've shown the channel. I hope that you continue to do so. Again, do not forget to like, share, subscribe if you found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. And going forward, tomorrow we're probably going to take a look at the Seven Knights characters, have a longer conversation about their impact on the game as a whole, and talk about what stones you want to prioritize for your favorite Seven Knights collab character. Until then, I appreciate all of you. I hope you enjoy the footage, and I will talk to all of you again real soon. Peace.
Here it comes. Done it again. Here it comes. The most electrifying move in all of